Hi everybody, good morning, buenos dias. Daniil Spatz from California. Today is going to be an English interview with Aleksa Karavaeva from Russia. She's a tennis coach. She played ITF tournaments and some professional tournaments. So we are going to have a nice ending of 2023. Cheers, everyone. Wish you a wonderful 2024. And so, as I always say, it's very important to learn, English. I think is for us to be well-rounded and to get connected with the world. We have to really learn new languages. We're gonna have a lot of fun learning from the tennis in Russia. Okay, hope you enjoy. Aleksa, good morning.
Hola,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
sí, muy bien, ¿y tú?
Hablas muy bien español.
Más o menos, sí.
Y how do you like to do it? Podemos hacerlo en español si quieres.
Podemos, pero en español es que he olvidado un poquito, pues necesitaré más tiempo para pensar en qué voy a decirte.
No.
Por eso creo que mejor inglés.
Okay, no worries. You have to think first of all. Where are you right now?
I'm in St. Petersburg at my home, in my hometown. So now it's already 8 p.m., so dark. Already, almost time to go to sleep.
Okay, cheers for next year, 2024.
Yeah, cheers.
You have coffee? I have coffee too. Look.
No, I have green tea.
Okay. Aleksa, thank you. You are my last guest of 2023.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to talk to you and to answer your questions. And I really was excited when I received an invitation from you. So it's my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's really an honor because I'm always admire the tennis in Russia, in your country. Let me ask you this. The Russian success started in 1974 with Alexis Medvedev and Olga Morozova.
Mm-hmm.
Olga was 3 in the world, Alex, number 9 in the world. And after that, of course, the Safins, the Sharapova, Kurnikova, all the Miskina, Dementieva, Sharapova, of course. Until the present times, right? Medvedev and then Kafelnikov, you name it, Rublev. What is right now, in the present times, tennis in Russia as successful, as big as was in the 70s, 80s, 90s?
I was born 87, so I don't know how was it in 70s, 80s, but my dad, he was a big fan of tennis, and he also was coaching me, but he was not a professional tennis player, and he was not a professional coach, so he started to play tennis quite late, maybe when he was 16 or 18, something like this. So but he was huge fan. He was like the fanatic of tennis. He had all this even the USSR was closed, but he had all this papers from the tennis magazines from US about tennis. So he was learning, studying, and he was telling me that for sure there was a lot of people who were fond of tennis, and they were also fanatic, about tennis, and they wanted to play, but comparing to other sports, anyway, tennis was not as popular as, for example, football or hockey. So it was, as I know it, from what people saying in USSR, it was, like some kind of aristocratic sport, and not so many people played it. So after the USSR was broken, and I think that the president Yeltsin, he was, you know, he was a big person who inspired a lot of people to play tennis because he was fond of tennis. And after like everyone was seeing that the president is playing, that he's promoting tennis, it was like boom, you know, in Russia. But nowadays, for me, I still think that it's not because I'm thinking, but because it's like this football, hockey, and sports like this in Russia, they are bigger than tennis for sure. More
How
people.
important, how
Mhm.
important was Maria Sharapova for Russia, tennis Russia, for the sport in general?
Uh, you know, for me, it's still hard to say it because I'm same age as she. So you know, I was focusing on what maybe I was doing, what I was trying to do with my tennis, instead of really understanding what was happening in the country. But for sure, she was the example. I know that she was the example for a lot of little girls who were also desiring to, you know, to play tennis, to become tennis star. But like, for example, for my generation, I think that for me, the bigger impact was made by Anna Kurnikova because she was the first.
Mm.
So the wow effect that she did because she was the first, for me, it's much bigger because she is older than Sharapova. So for me, I was, you know, for me, it was a little bit personal because as I was the same age,
Mm.
I was always compared in a negative way. Like, for example, look, at the same age, there is a girl who is doing much better than you in tennis. So you're already late, you need to work harder or things like this. So that's why I cannot really, maybe I cannot really understand the impact on whole the country. But for sure, it's huge.
And now Medvedev is a big figure for the Russians in general, for Russian sports, for kids. Is he, Daniil Medvedev, a good role model for kids, for people there?
I think that for sure, yes, because everyone knows that besides that he plays tennis good, he was also studying very good at school. He behaves good, you know, in general, he has like a very good image. He has already kids, so you can see from him that he's quite a mature person. And then you start by looking at him, you start to understand that if you are mature enough, then if you are consciousness, then you might achieve bigger results than it's rather than you know, you cannot control your emotions, or you are behaving like Nick Kyrgios or things like this. So I think that not only in tennis, not only in sport, but in whole the image of the sportsman and the human being he is translating very good values.
Uh, why so many Russian players move to Spain?
I I because of the weather, it's really hard to play tennis in Russia because we have you can play maybe only half a year, something like this outside. For example, in my
Excuse me,
home,
but you have indoor courts, right?
yes, for sure we have, but first of all, they cost a lot. The cost of the indoor court is
How
much more.
much? Do you have any idea how much is an hour of playing an indoors?
Um, sure. For example, okay, let's say the average price would be maybe, but it's in St. Petersburg, right? In Moscow, it's going to be much more expensive. in St. Petersburg, maybe 25, 30 euros per hour for the court fee, but it's going to be not the best one. It's going to be just the average one. Maybe also indoor courts. We have much less than the outdoor courts. So sometimes it's hard to book. And when you're a professional tennis player, you need to play like, okay, maybe 3-4 hours a day, right? So it's also not easy to make a good training process, you know, in one place.
Yeah. How much is the cost of a private lesson, tennis lesson in Russia? Average.
Average, also, if we are talking about St. Petersburg, it's around 20-30 euros per hour. But in
20?
Moscow, it's more. 20-30.
20-30. Okay. And
so
and, sorry, and a very famous coach, how much he or she can charge?
I don't know, maybe around 100 euros or more, something like this.
Yeah.
So it's
a lot.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
Also, I found so many female coaches successful. Dinara and Marat's mom was a great teacher. Olga Morsova also, right, was a great teacher. Why is that?
You know, I think I cannot say for all of the coaches, but what I feel is that you know, when the Russian woman starts to teach kids, most likely she feels like it's her own kids, you know. I don't know how to explain it, but it starts to have some kind of connection, like I don't know how to explain it in English, but I mean,
so you can explain it maybe in Spanish.
She treats the kids which come to her class like it's her own kids, you know. They try to give all of the best knowledges that they have. Also, from one point, from the other point, they can put the borders and the limits and in the relationships. Yeah, and also,
so they are very caring.
Yes. Okay.
But also, I've seen videos when they are so technical, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. The thing is that I have been living for 5 years in China, and first half a year I was working in the one of the private schools, and we were making the tennis program there. So I was working together with 2 French coaches, and they were like the head coaches, and I was like normal coach. And they were trying to implement the 10S system when the kids were just playing together from the very beginning, and there were no technical work at all. And for me, it was so strange because I'm used to a lot of technical work, even if it's a small kid. So after it, when I already opened with my ex-partner a tennis school in another city, these kids were coming to me for the weekends to fix the technique, because they were not working on the technique at all. So it was quite a big problem. So for sure, the Russian school, especially at the beginning, especially in the USSR, it was a lot of technical work, and it was demanding, you know.
Exactly. What makes Russian players so tough in tennis? Because the Spanish players are very physically, mentally strong, consistent. Argentinians, very consistent in South America. French, very creative. Every school, every country has their own, you know, style. How do you describe the Russian tennis style?
I think many people know it, that there is some kind of a Russian spirit, you know, inside. We are very good fighters. So I think this is one of the reasons, because of something inside, some kind of strong mentality, and it's really, you know, I think it's in our genes to fight.
Sorry, great coach, Paul Forsyth. He coached so many great players. He works in Bollettieri, and he said they hate to lose.
Yes. Very competitive.
Yeah, he coached Marat Safin when Safin was 12, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
so I think that's...
What else? Tell us about the technique, the tactics. How do you guys like to play, the Russians? Put it, I want to be in your mind and the Russians' mind.
For example, I will say about myself, because I cannot really tell about others, because I was not really in their shoes. But for me, for example, I was struggling with my forehand a lot. My forehand was not so good, but I had a good backhand, and I was very good, you know, physically developed, because I was doing a lot of track and fields, like for the fitness. So now, after working as a coach, I understand with how was my forehand and how I was feeling with my forehand, and that, you know, I didn't really, now I understand that I didn't have that quality knowledges about tennis. So I understand that what I achieved, I don't consider my achievements like big achievements, but still I was like 400 something in doubles and 700 something in singles, but I quit very early. So now I understand that all of these results were made just because I was ready to die on the court. You know, there was a ball going from one side to another one, doesn't matter. I will keep going. I won't let it just fly. I won't let it just pass. I will just fight till the end. So with the time, I understand that my technical and my tactical knowledges and what I was doing when I was playing myself were not, you know, so good or so good quality, but physically and mentally, I could keep going.
Yeah, the Russian players also are very well known for a strong temperament. I remember Safin, Kafelnikov, Safina. No, Medvedev has a strong personality. Mishkina, Dementieva. Wow. Maria, Kunikova also. You talk about the mental toughness.
Yes.
But what else, I mean, separates the Russian players from because you always see Russian players shining in the tour, Junior Tour, ITF, WTA, ATP. I mean, you guys are all over the place. Están por todos lados.
Sí, lo entiendo. Another thing, I think that there is, you know, that smartness when playing, understanding the game. So I think that the best players, because I've watched your interview with Marat Safin and Dinar Safina, and for example, the way they're talking, the way they are describing their feelings about the game, you really understand that these are very smart people.
Let me interrupt you, Aleksa. What means understanding the game?
For me, understanding of the game, it means understanding of tactics, understanding of how you play when there is a certain score. how you behave, which points are important, which points maybe are not important, what to do with the return, what to do with the serve, like the overall understanding of what game of tennis is.
Okay. So understanding the tactics, understanding the score, the opponent also, right? Studying the
Yeah.
opponent, I think is important. Right? How important when you played? How much you like to impose your game versus adapting to the opponent's game?
For me, it was, my story is maybe not a good example for it, because there was a very big mistake made in my tennis game development. So I'm considering that with the time I just started to understand all the mistakes which were made with my tennis. So then later, I can tell to people what they should avoid. So
Well, tell us what they should
I'm
avoid.
gonna tell you. So so I was pretty good, maybe with the age, under 15, 16, when I started to play ITF juniors under 18. I started really good. I started with the first, it was, I think, ITF 5th grade in Russia. So I started really good. I won the qualis, then I got to the semis, and I lost to, remember the player Vera Dushevina. So she was only in also in the WTA tour later. So she was playing quite good. And then also I remember that I won one ITF juniors with Elena Wisnina. We played the doubles with her. You should know her. She is Olympic champion with Ekaterina Makarova. So I started pretty good. And my game was, I was, kind of a counter puncher. So I was playing more offensive. I didn't really like that much to, not offensive, sorry, defensive. So I was like a kind of more defending, waiting till the other player to make a mistake. So I was really patient. So maybe, some game style like Caroline Wozniacki when she was playing. So that was kind of my game. But then, and at some point, my mom, who is not playing tennis, she decided that I need to hit every ball and I need to start to play more offensive, because other girls are already, playing offensive, hitting the ball strong, and winning with the winners. And I was not doing it because my type was completely different. So, and after that, actually my game broken, and I really started, my game was broken, and I really started to struggle. I already didn't have that good results. And after my own game was broken, I already was not really able to think on what to do, with the opponent. I was really trying to find my rhythm, trying to understand what I need to do. I was used to play long rallies and make the person run, get tired, make mistakes, find their weak places. But then when really my game and my understanding of the game was broken, I just couldn't really relate to what the other person was doing, because I was focused on that there is something which is not working within me. So it's something like this.
I understand. Very interesting listening to you. Somebody in the audience was asking if you would change any rule in the sport.
No, maybe I what I see now is that the matches are getting shorter, and shorter. When I was starting to play, we were playing yellow balls, you know, under age of, I don't know, 8. We were playing yellow balls, full court, 2 sets till 6. And now kids, when I see kids playing, they're playing one tiebreak till 7, you know, on the quarter of the court with the red balls. It's also good, you know. I really like the soft balls, small rackets, all this minutes nets. As a coach, I understand that they give a lot of opportunity to make the right technique to the kids, but I think that sometimes there is especially with those, you know, tournaments which are held only just on the weekends. So sometimes I understand that maybe the kids, they don't have enough game practice at the beginning because the match is too fast. So but later when they so I think that later they maybe what I'm thinking, but I might be wrong. I don't know. This is just my feeling, that I'm thinking that we had a little bit more endurance than the kids who are playing at the beginning shorter matches. But I might be mistaken. That's just the feeling, you know.
No, it's your opinion. To finish this, I want to ask you if you will have to talk to junior players, girls between 12 and 16 years old. You have a group of girls listening to you. What would you tell them? Any advices for them? They want to be professional players. They dream about to be number 1 in the world. What would you tell them?
You know, just few days ago, I saw a really good video in Instagram. One of the actresses, I don't remember who, she was saying, she was also asked a question, what she would say to herself in the younger age. So she said, follow your dreams, not your boyfriends. So I think I would say, this is the, you know, this is between 12 and 16. It's really, especially for girls, it's kind of a sensitive age when there is, you know, when there are changes in the body, in the hormone system, and also they start to look at the boys, you know, some of the girls lose their focus, they start to think on some other things. So what I really think is that it's very important in this age not to lose the focus.
Okay, and from the technical and tactical standpoint, now you want to give them advices, specific advices for them to practice. What would you tell them? This, and that. What would be the most important thing they have to practice?
You mean between 12 and 16? It's quite a big age difference, but still, for me, one of the most things is consistency. Also, the forehand attack, backhand attack. So also for the girls, I really think that it's for this age, it's really important to know how to play drive volleys. And because, you know, from the age of 12, they start to play, they still keep playing lobs time to time. And for me, the girls who know how to play drive volleys and go forward to the net and finish the point, this they have, and who are not afraid of doing this, they have the advantage. And also the serve is very important.
How about angles?
You mean
short angles, opening the court?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the good advice at any time for all the players.
Serve, return.
For the serve, I would say that I'm not sure, but also already at the age of 12, for me, it's I think very important thing already would be to start to work on the targets, you know, to not just to serve inside the box, but it's already time to serve to the certain place in
Yeah,
the box to know
yeah,
how to make it, you know, T cross to the body and not like the big area, but
yeah.
it's already has to be precise. For the return, also it's serve is the first shot and return is the second shot. So for sure you have to work on it.
Okay, good, good, good. So you make your living. You're making your living teaching tennis.
Now, honestly, I stopped teaching because I was really, I came back home from China a little bit more than 1 year ago. So I was really exhausted because I was working in China a lot. So after I came back, I continued to teach here in St. Petersburg. I was teaching, but still I was understanding that I'm at the moment I'm too tired. I have to make some, you know, break and just to see how it goes next. Because in China, I already had some players uh, at the age of 10, 11, 12 who were playing pretty good. There was one boy. Uh, um, Still it was all in Chinese, so it could be a little bit misunderstanding, but as I understood, he was top 10
Oh,
under 12 in China.
okay,
So I
okay.
was already coaching some good kids, and then when I came back here in St. Petersburg, you know, now I cannot say that there is a lot of professional tennis, so it's mostly amateur tennis and the beginners. And for me to work, I worked a lot with the beginners in China. So for me to do it again here, it was a little bit
Yeah,
already exhausted. And I decided to stop for a while. And uh, because I was already, uh, I have another interest in my life. It's nutrition and wellness and mental
good,
health.
good.
Because because there because there were made a lot of mistakes when I was growing up, when I was playing tennis. So I had to deal with it, and I understand that actually with my knowledge is not how to do it, I can help many people. So now I decided to focus more on this part of my life. So that's why for now tennis is on stop a little bit.
Good. Can a tennis teacher in Russia make a living teaching tennis? Good living by, for example, to buy a car, a house, a home. I mean, is possible teaching ten. I mean,
Maybe
teaching tennis.
it's possible. I cannot say that it will be a very good living, or you can buy a really good house, or you can make a normal living. But you know, it's there is also some, you know, a tricky thing with the fees, because for example when I was teaching, when I started to teach 15 years ago, but for example 10 years ago I also was charging 20 euros per hour, and now it's after 10 years it's still 20-30 euros per hour. But 10 years ago $1 it was 30 rubles, and now $1 is almost 100 rubles, and all the prices went, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times higher. The apartments now, the price is increasing a lot, so it's also a bit, you know, this change with the
Yeah.
prices, so
How
it's a bit,
much? How
yeah.
much is the cost of a tennis ball in Russia?
uh, I think that now I haven't checked the prices for a long time because I still have some balls which I bought in
Yeah, but
China.
more or less.
It might be about 200 euros for the box.
The box.
Of
The case
72.
for 20.
72 balls. So it's now it's or 150 euros, something like this. But now it's much more expensive than it was before.
And a tennis racket, average?
300 euros, something like this.
Oh,
so the prices really, they are really much higher than before. So now it's also, you know, money wise and financially, it's like how much you charge, it's still the same price.
Exactly.
But your expenses are getting higher because the balls start to, you have to pay more for the balls, you have to pay more for the rackets, for the strings, you know, or things like this. So it's also one of the reasons why I stopped here in Russia, because I was making much more money in China than here.
Exactly, I guess.
And I was like, oh, I teach here beginners and also not making that much money, so maybe I should change something.
Okay. Aleksa, it was fantastic having you and tell us everybody about tennis in Russia and yourself, your own experiences. So I wish you good luck and the best. And thank you so much again. It was wonderful information. And by the way, before you leave, your favorite female player and favorite male player you ever seen?
Favorite female player is Anna Kournikova. And favorite male player, I would say Marat Safin.
Perfect. Okay.
All Russians.
Happy Holi.
Sorry.
Yeah, Russians. Okay, it's fine. Thank you so much, and looking forward to stay in touch, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. Happy holidays. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.